now we are going to talk about medication. The medication process in eClinicalWorks is a two-step process. The first step is placing the medication order. The second step is e-prescribing, which means sending the RX directly to the pharmacy electronically. This is not a complicated process. However, we do have a separate packet for you on how to order and e-prescribe because there are several details. So we're going to start out with step number 1, which is placing the medication order. And there are 3 scenarios for this. There is ordering a new medication, there is refilling a medication, and there's titrating medication. So all 3 of those scenarios happen a little bit differently. And then step number 2 is e-prescribing, and that happens just one way. So you'll see in your packet that we're going to go through each scenario, and then we're going to go through e-prescribing at the end. So scenario number 1 is ordering a new medication. To do that, you're going to go to this Add button on the treatment screen. You're going to associate your medication with a diagnosis. So let's say we want to order something for hypertension. We check off that box. Then in the Find box, we're going to search for maybe lisinopril. You're going to use a single click to click on the medication. And after that single click, you're going to see several options appear. This is really important that your next click be on the pencil, which is the second column, because the pencil is what will take you to the editing properties window. So we're going to click on the option that we want to select using the pencil, and that will take us to this editing window. From here, we can adjust the strength, the take amount, the route, the frequency, duration, and dispense. So let's say that we want them to take it once a day, but we would like them to take it with food. So we can type in here in this white fields with food, and you'll notice now when I click out of it that the dispense amount disappears. This is because it can no longer calculate it since we've adjusted the frequency. So you'll have to enter this manually. And if we're taking this once a day with food for 30 days, it's going to be dispensing 30. So you can use this up here to fill it in. You can also use the caret. So you can use the keypad. Using your mouse, click on the numbers you want to select and then OK. And perhaps we would like 1 refill for this. We're going to click on the caret and then the number 1 and click OK. And now you'll see on the bottom where it says RX, this is what prints out on the label for the patient. So this is what the patient will see on their prescription bottle. When you're finished editing your prescription, you're going to press apply. And now that medication is going to drop down under the selected assessment that we've associated it with. So now we'll press OK, and that takes us back to the treatment screen. When I click on the tab for the assessment that I ordered that medication for, now I'll see that medication on this spreadsheet. So you can see it directly associated with hypertension here. And that was scenario number 1, ordering a new medication. Now we're going to talk about scenario number 2, which is refilling a medication. This starts out by clicking the Current RX button. The first step here is to choose which assessment you're associating this medication with. So I've just checked diabetes. And then let's say that I want to refill metformin. So everything that's listed here is what the patient is currently taking. And normally you wouldn't see this in here twice. This is because we're in the test environment and we've practiced a lot on these patients. But we're just going to choose one of these. And there are 5 circles here. There is continue, R for refill, 30 for 30-day refill, 90 for 90-day refill, and S for stop. So we're going to choose for a refill one of these three options in the middle, R, 30, or 90. Since we want this patient to have a supply for a while, let's say we want them to do a 90-day supply, we're going to click on the 90, and that's going to bring our medication down under the assessment that we associated it with over on the left. So you can see now that this metformin is associated with the type 2 diabetes. Then I'll press OK. That takes us back to the treatment screen. And now when I go to the type 2 diabetes tab, I can see that my metformin's in there. Whenever you refill a medication, you need to go into the tab and check to make sure that all of this is filled out. So it looks like we're missing the dispense amount. We're going to click into dispense, and we're going to add something in here using the caret. So if they're taking half a tablet once a day for 90 days, that's 45. And then we'll press apply. That's very important that you check to make sure that all of these are filled out. These over here are not mandatory, but these are. So if you try to e-prescribe this without filling these fields out, then you'll get an error message and it won't go through to the pharmacy. So make sure that you check that all these fields get filled out. So that was scenario number 2, refilling a medication. Now we're going to talk about scenario number 3, which is titrating, increasing or decreasing a dose. So that starts out the same as refilling a medication, but there are a couple different steps at the end. So we're going to go up here to current RX. Then we're going to choose the assessment on the left that we want to associate this medication with. And let's say that we want to titrate their Tylenol. So this time, instead of choosing one of the refills, we're going to choose the C for continue. And that is going to associate that medication with this assessment. You'll see it's popped down under migraines. I press OK. Now when I go to the migraines tab, you will see that it is under Tylenol is under migraines, and that there's this continue here. So now we're going to choose continue, click on continue, and since we're titrating it, we're either going to increase it or decrease it. Let's say we want to increase, and then we press next. And let's say that we would like them to take this 3 tablets as needed, and that we want them to do this for 30 days. And if this is every 4 hours, if this is every 4 hours, 6 hours times 4, so this would be 540. It's kind of a silly example, but we're going to go with it. And then down here, this is what gets printed out on the bottle. Press apply. And we've just finished titrating our medication. So far, we have ordered a new medication, we have refilled a medication, and we have titrated. So those are the 3 scenarios for placing the medication order. And like I mentioned before, each medication is under the tab that you associated it with. So the next step is going to be e-prescribing. We haven't actually sent anything to the pharmacy yet. E-prescribing does not exist in the test environment, so I'm going to show you with a test patient in the real environment how to e-prescribe, and you can just watch this part on your computer since it won't exist on your test environment. But as you can see, I have my test patient, I have my medications in here. So from this treatment screen, I'm going to choose the caret next to send RX, and I'm going to click on e-prescribe RX. When I choose e-prescribe, you will see that the pharmacy option is going to be pulled up. We're going to choose our pharmacy. So you can search for your pharmacy. Let's say we want to use Crossover. Then the notes to the pharmacist, you can put in notes. This is optional. This is only going to be seen by the pharmacist. Do not fill. I'm just telling them not to fill it because this is a test patient. And then you choose which medications you want to send to this pharmacy. So maybe I only want to send the first one to this pharmacy, and maybe I want to send the second two to a different pharmacy. So I select just the medication I want to go to Crossover, and then I press send ePrescription. If everything is filled out correctly, you're going to get this ePrescription transmitted successfully window. So I'll press OK, and now you can see there's a little lock because that medication has been sent to the pharmacy. So once you ePrescribe, you can't make any changes to this prescription. It's already sent. So I sent that one. I did not send these, which is why there's no lock. And I wanted to send these two to a different pharmacy. So now I'm going to ePrescribe again. Go to Send ePrescribe RX. And I'm going to fill out this form again for the second pharmacy. So just to clarify, you fill this form out it's per pharmacy. So if I'm sending my medications to 3 different pharmacies, I'm going to fill out this form 3 times. If I'm sending all the medication to one pharmacy, I'm going to fill this form out 1 time. So in this example, I just sent 1 medication to Crossover. Now I'm sending 2 to Walmart. So my 2 are selected down here. I'm going to choose Walmart as my pharmacy. And maybe we want to send it to this Walmart on Iron Bridge. And if I have any notes to the pharmacy, those would go in here. Then I would press Send ePrescription. I'm going to cancel this just so it doesn't go to Walmart. And that is how you would ePrescribe. Once you have ePrescribed, you close the treatment window and you go to this button up here called the Patient Hub. This is to the right of the patient's name. On the Patient Hub, there's a button, the bottom left, that's called ePrescription Logs. We're going to choose that button, and you're going to change this provider drop-down to All. This will show you the most recent medication that has been ePrescribed for this patient. So you can see I just sent this today at 11:16 a.m. and it says that it went through successfully. So what this means is the pharmacy has received our ePrescription. It doesn't mean that they filled it yet, but they've successfully received it. Then I'll close this window and I'll press close. If it was not successful, if it said that it had failed, you would want to go back and ePrescribe again. So you'd go back into the treatment screen and you'd go down to the caret and press ePrescribe. So that is how you order and ePrescribe medication in eClinicalWorks. Thank you for watching this EHR training video. Please let us know if you have any questions. We're always happy to help in any way we can. We look forward to seeing you in the clinic very soon.